Good morning, grasshoppers. Another day of diligent daily training. Good morning, Ismail. Thank you for that heads up on the sound alerts. Testing, testing, testing. There we go. Turn the volume down just a smidge. Good morning, PC Saucin. We're going to try to make this a model CarlCon week. Perhaps. Get everything laid out properly. I could have pre-moved my second move. What was I thinking? We're going with the classical variation, aka Capablanca variation. The Capablanca variation is a sub-variation of the classical approach. The classical approach is probably best started by knight to d2. But in a slow, rapid game, I didn't entirely feel like oh, he got me. Silly me. Or did he? Perhaps it's just a waste of time? Now, is he going to isolate his pawn? Pawn on c3 looks a little silly without. Well, that's interesting. Removing the defender, looks like I'm winning a piece, unfortunately, out of this deal. Natural moves often lead to natural disasters. Well, maybe not. Maybe he's okay. I have to protect my queen against knight f5 check, fascinatingly enough. On to the grind. Grind like a grandmaster. What is the best way to attack and defend at the same time? Perhaps this way. Although I'm not really attacking. My opponent may help me out. Control of the open files. Try not to let my queen get overworked. Work on some constructive working here. We both have weak back ranks, unfortunately. Is this going to be useful? That is the question. And if it is going to be useful, how useful is it? That is a bummer. It is a fork. I'll give him that much. It is a fork. So therefore, we're going to have to answer the fork with a fork. Queen c2, queen b1, queen b3. Queen b3 might have been a more accurate answer. Alright, so what kind of a tactical threat does my opponent have now? He can't return so easily. While protecting everything. Fair enough. Only our second time in this position. He has the better of it. That much I will give him. But now I'm a pawn down and a queen and pawn ending. And the grind begins. He has a couple of choices on how to defend both pawns. Is there a move that does both? Very awkward. All right, moment of truth. As long as I don't play king to h6, I should have every chance in the world to try to mix it up here. Let's offer him this opportunity. May have another 50 moves to go from the last pawn capture. That means we have until move number 89. I hold it back to the start. I can't continue this without my king very easily. What's a pawn between friends? let's just make sure that we tread very, very lightly. He needs a square that defends both pawns while making progress.
Never stop the way, yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name. Grasping into a
I blundered.
life is happy but it's so insane. We must make
I blundered.
Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a roll, Savannah.
Yes, I did. I blundered.
Lion's gonna come.
Check.
The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when
I need to cover F2 and C8 at the same time.
Savannah.
And I blundered.
We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of
Nice work, PC Sawson.
let's all take a roll.
How not to play the Carl Khan under this title. Dark Blade, good morning. Indeed.
The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a roll.
Check.
There's just no escaping this one.
Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah.
I should not have hung the pawn. Wow, what zugzwang that is. This is Grovel Like a Grandmaster, the sequel to Cry Like a Grandmaster. Assuming that I would even hold the pretense to being a Grandmaster. Not. What in the world? Grovel Like a Grandmaster. Unfortunate. Page 2, I deserve it. I do need to look at that game again one more time. Bishop d6 was a really careless move on my part. A really, really careless move. Yeah. Moving the queen, of course. Bishop takes d3. Silly me. So all's well that ends well, you'd think, right? So what did I miss here? I should be up a pawn, according to this. Queen takes d6, queen to d3, e5. Knight h5. Send him off sides. Yeah, then there's no threat here. I was actually concerned about queen takes g7 and knight f5 check picking up a pawn. And yeah, I should have probably won this. Better endgame. Queen and pawn endgames on the agenda for today. Glad that I remembered. I was trying to think of what my lesson format would be for today. Caleb McLean. Did he beat me? What did he beat me in? Oh, he was white. Fair enough. Let's give him the old heave-ho with knight c3. We've not yet begun our World Championship Series preparation, which we will in just a moment. Well, that's interesting. My opponent is a Sicilian player. So therefore, we are going to transpose to a very dynamic anti-Grand Prix attack. We'll just traditionally tackle this in the best way that we know how, getting castled quickly. The wastelands and the highway. We have choices of open files for our rooks. Our queen relatively aggressively placed. No weaknesses necessarily on either side. I have b2. My unprotected bishop on c4. Kind of a bummer. Interesting. Yes, yes. He does have the initiative here. It's unfortunate. Why did I cower? I do not know. Castles was probably not the best. Maybe castling queenside was the best. What was I thinking? I had all the choices in the world. Castling queenside would have taken care of at least two weaknesses and threatened e5 and stopped knight e5. Let's just keep attacking. Our goal, our mantra is to always keep attacking.
Do it! Just do it!
His smile. 3 deep. Nice job, SLK. I was looking for really great games. I promised some Tanya Satdev videos yesterday evening, but I attempted to feature games from her early career. We're going to attempt to dive in here somehow. Try to keep everything covered if we can. Can we get a rook to the 7th rank? Ah. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Trying to limit our opponent's movements. N, G. We do have a few plans up our sleeve. Just a few. Rook on A1 is not a help. I'm not going to bother his queen, am I? Am I going to bother his queen? I do need to free up my rook. That much is true. Let's not get stream sniped. Follow John. You're the head of a delegation for Mauritius. That is awesome, man. I'll have to check out the team. Nicely done. So very nicely done. SLK Chess, Speed A representative. Where are you headed? And what does it all mean? Ah, you're gonna do that. Oh no! I accidentally moved my rook back to the wrong square. This is why you shouldn't have your pieces in your hands. Ah! Can't believe he put his rook on his queen on b4. Well, things could always be worse. Now we've got some overworkage. Now we have some definite overworkage. We're going to try our best to not get forked if we can, while getting our knight to a better possible square. Can I? It's got one good check. Nope, I cannot. We're trying our best. Well, that was interesting. I might have survived. I cannot wait. I will be checking them out as soon as possible. It is true that he has one way to go. I was expecting knight h5, rook takes b8. Sorry, Caleb. I got very lucky this time. 3 deep, thank you so much, buddy. Oh, it's not 161. You subscribed to my YouTube before. Oh, you subscribed to his YouTube. Of course you did. He deserves a lot more in those accolades department, definitely. I'm going to give the Carl Khan one more whirl. When my opponents are 500 points below me, though, I should be playing the Sicilian. Whoa, my opponent helped me out here. This is just the imbalance we were looking for. Believe it or not, just the imbalance we were looking for. Follow Silk Chess, SLK Chess. Stefan Lamb, by the way, is because my opponent has an isolated pawn, we're seeking exchanges. Moobot, it's me. Yes, there are many lessons to be learned from Ron Hay. Whether we like it or not. Well, that's interesting. Now my opponent has an interesting problem on his hands. Basically, I'm definitely going to be grabbing the center with e5. I'm going to be capturing material, or I'm going to be unsettling his king. if and when needed. I'm tempted to not play e5, but I don't want him castling. F3 prevents him from castling. We're going to keep up the good work on this diagonal, on that short diagonal. Can we go this way? I feel like we should go this way. Let's think for a moment. Let's actually do a critical think on the best method. Capturing the queen also creates a certain number of problems, given that he is so far behind in development. Therefore, let's let him castle. Keeping up the pressure.
Do it!
Keeping up the pressure.
Do it!
Thank you, Ismail. Castle like a grandmaster. We did have Kotov's birthday not long ago. I wonder if Ismail came in on that one. Wait a minute now. This is a free pawn with a lot of threats. I can't even tell you how many threats there are, because there are too many threats to imagine. Let's keep up all of the threats. We're keeping up all of the threats. Uh-oh.
Check.
This might lead to mate. He did not see the threat. It was almost the same threat in many other instances, by the way. And the rooks never made it into the game except to defend against mate. Stop the game. It's too. What's your favorite book by me? Obviously, I'm torn because who was it? Rogan Joe Sloan already made the Moby Dick reference. Ismail. Well, you've thrown me off because I've never considered myself to be the Grandmaster in the Grandmaster title. But in the Grandmaster series, anyway. In our games, you've always been the Sorcerer. So it'd have to be Ishmael and the Sorcerer's Stone. Ishmael and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Not to be outdone by... And I've drawn a blank on the whole series. Oh man, all of my pop culture references are completely out the window. I did look into Marrakesh, by the way, Ismail. My wife wasn't entirely too pleased if I wasn't taking her, but I wasn't entirely sure that I could get her in on it as cheaply as I could with the package. Yeah, I looked at Marrakesh. I think that was the main place that I was going to go. The other one was Casbah. There were some deals in Casbah and Marrakesh. I think I found a deal for a flight and hotel for the Thursday night, first week of September, the Thursday night through Monday, for something like, on the least expensive end, it was around 1,300, less than 1,400, probably 1,400 plus after taxes. Casbah. Yeah, indeed. Absolutely one of my favorite places because I was a big fan of the movie. A huge fan of the movie. Did I not close my door? I'm hoping my grandson will wake up and join us. What do you play now, Zamanak? Because I don't know you that well. I prefer my students to choose their own openings, but we have to choose it through your personal style. You prefer attacking, grinding, dynamic play? Alakine is the answer, not against D4. It is 8:45 a.m. So then I would recommend the Dubov Terrace, perhaps. Unfortunately, you get into a grind no matter what type of play you get against Pawn to Queen 4. But the Dubov Terrace gives you a lot of opportunities for your opponent to screw up. Next up, what is your strength? Basically, the Dubov Terrace runs along these lines. Can I analyze this? Dubov Terrace runs along these lines, and you'll see that Magnus Carlsen plays it. Now, the good news about it is that if they play anything like Knight F3, we're slapping the center with C5. If they play Bishop F4, we still slap the center with E5. It's even better against Bishop F4 than it is against Knight F3. And if they play any other move, I'm trying to think if I can even find a move, you can still play C5, 44% for black. But don't play it on move 2 against C4. First, we're just going to anchor our pawn, and then we're going to slap the center. Where's the terrace? Oh, we have to wait for knight c3? No. Then you slap the center. I like the terrace because it forces white to make a very big decision. And most of the opponents don't know that they have to isolate the pawn and then play for the weakness. You keep attacking the center, and they have to play for the weakness. You'll see a good example of this in part one of my memorable games. I actually show this position with colors reversed. I was using the same system as white against black. My opponent didn't play it so well. Yes, 3D is in the future by 10.5 hours. From me. So here's where the Dubov terrace begins, basically. After knight f6, bishop g2, instead of playing this passive move, which is the time-honored test, Dubov has been playing c takes d4, knight takes d4, and bishop c5. Now, unfortunately, we don't seem to be getting any game references here. But if you do get the game references, then you will notice that Magnus Carlsen, Daniel Dubov, and many others have been scoring really well with it as black. There are a couple of tedious lines that try to go into an endgame, but your pawn usually reaches c6 and you're usually in business. And if they move away, then you actually get a different style of a game. And then if they ever play e3, you get to shove, but you also get to shove here. You grab the space and you make your opponent feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it's originally it was called the von Bartleben variation. I have a really large book on the Terrace, and I highly recommend it because the Caro-Kann and the Terrace lines are very similar. It's one of the arguments against we need universal time. I'm returning to knight c3. I meant to look up what I'm lacking in on the first move, but I'm going to play that until I catch up. Ishmael, enjoy your Sunday like a grandmaster. Enjoy your Sunday like a grandmaster. I'm going to look into the more extensive. I'm going to look into the more extensive applause and whatnot. What in the world is going on here? I think we have to attack that short diagonal. Just in case he's considering taking our pawn and trying to hang on to it like it's a queen's pawn opening reversed. Ismail, have a great day. Have a nice day like a grandmaster indeed. Let's bother him like a grandmaster.
Do it! Just do it!
Let's hope that I don't mouse slip my way. All right, we return for volume 2 of Take the Short Diagonal Like a Grandmaster. Uh-oh. My opponent is walking into the center like a grandmaster. I think I just have to get him onto e6 just because I can. Can I? All right, now the moment of truth. Do I dare with queen g4? Where does he need to go? Queen to g4, he has to go to e8.
This nation owes you a huge debt.
Then I get to take another free pawn with check. Where does he go from there? He goes to f7. Then knight takes g5. All right, we're here to have fun, by the way. In case anybody wasn't wondering. We're here to have fun. And now, for something completely different, we're going to continue on our merry way here.
Check.
As he continues to walk like a grandmaster. Threaten like a grandmaster. All right, unfortunately, we have already got... We've already got a... an attack on our knight, so it's really a bother. Too bad. Well, he didn't see my threat. My threat was just to capture free material now that my material is protected. Skewering across the back rank. Interesting. What did he choose here? So now I need to think about the best means to check on b5 with my knight. Let's keep him from developing his pieces. I would like him as far away from his knight as possible. Everything is protected. King c4, d3, c2, b2 is way too slow. They'll always have bishop to e5. Everything is protected. What was the f6 all about? Ops cop. So Pine Gap was a pretty good series. It did have me on the edge of my seat. I have to admit, it was relatively well written. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Dead Wind, which is set in Finland. Netflix series also. This song is really poor quality, I think. This song is relatively poor quality. I just don't like the sound in it. It's got a harshness to it. We're removing that one from the playlist. Next chance we get. Oh no, our opponent left. This was a very instructional game. There's no reason to leave. Three deep, thank you so much. Jake Ruby, New York City, how are you? Thank you for the follow. How come I did not get my follower alert? Oh, that's fascinating. Wow, I clicked on the follower alert and I got some randomness. Streamlabs, Oslo seems to have taken over.
This nation owes you a huge debt.
Okay.
This nation owes you a huge debt.
Apparently I didn't click that spam. Thank you, Jake Ruby, New York City. What part of New York City are you in? I will be, if you want to hook up, if you want to meet up, I'll be at Amsterdam Billiards in the Village about 4 o'clock. But I'm hoping to get there early, about 2 o'clock, give or take.
Victory.
Sorry, Ops Cop. I'm glad you came back. I'm sorry that you had such a rough moment of it. But what happened there? E takes F4. There's nothing that necessarily wrong with E takes F4. F6 has never really been played. And it really wants me to just take over the center with D4. Obviously, you can't protect the pawn because I have Queen H5 and Queen F5 mate. Or something along those lines leading to mate. But I decided that I was going to have fun. That was the first goal, was to have fun. G5 check.
Check.
Knight F3 was not as good as Queen H3. Yes. I can see that now. Queen H3 leads to a lot more fun. And you have to draw me up to F5 because you're going to lose your pawn anyway. But if you were to play the move King to E8 in this particular position, then I get Knight F6 check anyway. So everything looks correct. C6, Queen G4 check, Knight F6 check. King F7 was the blunder. I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to be doing on King E7 either. Indeed, I was in trouble there.
Check.
And Rook takes G5 is probably best, yes. But now, life is very difficult. We don't have to look any further. We just have to know that we don't want to repeat the same opening again. Oh, Zamanek, you're Caleb. So yes, what was our game like? Hey, take a quick peek before you go. I think C5 is the best answer against Knight C3. Usually I go into a Grand Prix attack, especially if I know that you're going to play D6. You don't want to play D6 against the Grand Prix attack. Obviously, right? So, in this particular position, Knight takes D4. I mean, I've got a small edge anyway. I'm really whizzing this away, and I should follow in Magnus Carlsen-esque reverse Scandinavian effect with Queen D3. Instead, I played Queen H4. I did think H6 and G5 was the right idea. In any event, what happened here? You got the better of me. Right about now, I blundered. Yeah, I castled. And I said in the game that I should have castled on the queen side. You played the really good game. And I played a terrible move here. I thought you should have gone for more simplification somehow. But this looks good. I even lost a tempo with rook to a1. You had queen takes a4. This was a good move on your part. I accidentally played rook a1 and you didn't take my free pawn. That was our last try. You probably already knew that. But 2 pawns up, queens off the board. I'm going to have a very hard time keeping the queens on the board. You have many ways of forcing exchanges here. And it's not going to be pretty because you're going to recapture with the queen if I take. And I'm just down 2 pawns. Anyway, Caleb, have a great day. Yeah, you missed taking a pawn later on, indeed. Cheers, man. Where are you at, Caleb? Where are you from? That was my last very cool question for the most part. I was very lucky against you. That's all there was to it. Are you a streamer as well, Zamanak? Hold the phone here. I see that you had 96 followers. I'm going to shoot you a follow. Hopefully I will catch you online sometime. FIFA 22 Ultimate. Very cool. I wonder if Caleb has a coach, if he's asking me for help against 1d4. Right? Oh, he's from the UK. Assuming the flag is correct. He does not have a student account set up by a coach. So therefore, you may not have a coach. What are we thinking about here? Some of these decisions are automatic. I'm not sure if that was one of the automatic decisions. Now the queen has a square on h4. Yuck. What happened to my other one? I'm not sure which earbud has the power. If the music is not cutting out for you, it is cutting out for me.
Time is running.
Good morning, Ron. It is the legend, Ron. I need a better one for than this for him. This does not do him justice. But it is the big matchup between number 2 and number 1, and we've been waiting for this matchup. These tournaments could probably get away with being shorter, but I've designed them to be a little bit more of a stamina contest. Okay. You will be, and I. I'm going to take the strategic advantage. Us together. Just for one day. Yeah, the Queen F3 Vienna is apparently the most sound, according to Silicon Valley. And you can. All right, moment of truth. Let's just keep attacking. This is part and parcel of what we planned on doing. Continuing to attack. Part and parcel what we planned on doing, which was to continue to attack. Interesting. Just capturing that one. I'm just going to keep the unclearness going. Oh no! Removing the defender, sir. Very nicely done. Silly me, I really am tactically inefficient these days. And I promised myself that I would be working on my calculation, and I cannot play in the tournament this coming weekend, that is next weekend, unless I do work on my calculations. I have several bucks to work on calculation, and I have not yet really completed them. I was following the story of the Uzbekistan team. The Uzbeks won the gold medal in the Olympiad, and they are full-time chess professionals working so hard. No worries, Ron. Nothing personal. This is business. Namaste. Indeed. I don't think of that as pray. I think of that as namaste. You should take pray out of it.
Oh, I got lost on
Aikido versus the 3XK. The 3XK determined not to get into time pressure this time, but was it an Alakine? It does look like it could have been an Alakine. It does look like it could have been an Alakine, and the knight on B8 could have cycled across to F6. Let's take a quick peek. Where was I wrong? The one knight cycled back to F6. The knight on B8 ended up on C6. Let's not go too crazy here. Indeed. It's a very tough call. For instance, I looked at knight g5 and knight takes e6, but it doesn't quite work out. I have to pay attention to the desktop audio to see if it's cutting out for you or if it's my Bluetooth problem. Not cutting out for you, it's my Bluetooth audio. The black swiped a pawn in this variation. Automatic decision time here. I have a very awesome lesson that I'm looking forward to. Coaching and training session, I should say. It's not necessarily so much a lesson as it is coaching and training. That was the automatic decision. Aikido passed the test. Uh-oh. And now we start removing the defender of the knight on e6. Yes, and it's almost lights out after a capture and a capture. You have to pay attention to the opponent's moves, though. I can see myself hanging my queen on the next move. And then there's a free knight. Oh no, you don't recapture automatically. What was happening there? That is the nature of this particular dojo, is that you are going to have... This is all for training purposes, by the way. So what happened in the coordination of events here? I don't know that king h7 is necessary. What is necessary then if king h7 is not necessary? Probably knight to c5 or a5, a4 straight away. I like that bishop hanging out over there. I don't want him anywhere else. We chase the bishop back to a better diagonal. Now, I think we have to give up. Throw in the move. Bishop takes f3. Then we're probably okay, right? It was an exchange variation. C takes d6 is not supposed to be theoretically good. White gets a long-lasting and persistent edge, unless white hangs a pawn, of course. Even here, Arakito, I might have just captured and gone for the persistent advantage of attacking that pawn on d6 forever in a day. And it's still available to you. And it's still available to you. And it's still available to you. This is probably the persistent edge. Yeah, that pawn is very weak. It might be difficult to attack his kingside, but I am not entirely sure that this wasn't in your favor. So here, bishop takes f3. Almost automatic. All right, Arakito, good morning. Thank you for the heads up. Arakito, we're going to give it the old heave-ho with the caro. Relatively happy to have gotten 3 caros in today. Are you playing the long variation? Not the long variation. Fair enough.
Check.
Lions roaring in the morning sun.
Pardon my double shift bell there.
The light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name. Grasping into love. Life is happy, but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah,
Gonna dive into the weak d3 square if we can.
Savannah, the beauty
If it's a weak d3 square.
of let's all take a
We have to reroute our pieces.
Savannah. Light is gonna come. The birds have just begun.
Arakito's no slouch.
Always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung.
I could probably get something out of this, or I might not have anything.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah,
I predict a very terrible pawn structure coming up for me.
Savannah, let's all take a row. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a row.
What's a terrible pawn structure among friends? No billiards events this weekend? I didn't get a chance to ask him. I did consider knight takes f3 immediate. Knight takes c3 immediately. I did. Probably the best move. Knight takes c3 immediately. Sillavi, I went for other tactics that I saw. Only because my opponent has to grovel a little bit in this particular position and just defend. Yes. Mm-hmm. And now for something completely different. We have to anchor our knight, keep the possibilities alive, protect our e6 pawn, and now for something completely random. Interesting. I'll offer to ease the tension for a slightly more correct pawn structure. This endgame is not necessarily in either of our favors. Uh-huh. That's a bummer. He's definitely got a few items that I wasn't planning on him having. I really wanted to play c5, but I couldn't make it work. Now does it work? That's fascinating. Trying my best to get my pieces active. So, now we're trapped in Fisher's mind. My original thought was that I wanted to play rook to d4, though probably that was a good precursor to this. But did I have a real threat with rook to d4? Yeah, doubling was a real threat. Interesting. I want to keep open the option of playing for the right move. Uh-oh. This doesn't look right. So anything that's not met by check. I think that's a freebie. Slight miscalculation on that one. Through the wasteland, through the highways. Can I? I want my knight on d4, actually. So yeah, let's put our knight on d5 before we lose the option. What's protecting that pawn? Through the wastelands, through the highways.
Check.
Yanshan Gao. Yanshan Gao. Or is it Ga? I can only think of one person with that particular acronym. We're going to prepare to prepare. Thank you for that. All right, moment of truth. Jack bishop takes. Oh, did I really lose the opportunity? Did I allow a lot of counterplay? I feel like I did allow a lot of counterplay, didn't I? Uh-oh, Yanshan got me. Where are you from, Yanshan? I think of Judica, the couture designer, musician, artist. Not entirely sure that she's a streamer. I don't necessarily know what her original name is. But I have to decide how I'm going to go about this. Do I give up the piece? Do I give back the piece? I am up a piece, right? Darn it. Indeed, I am threatening to threaten. Ruh-roh. This creates a problem.
Victory.
Yeah. Check and check. Or worse yet, check and then check. The rook to c5. Rook check. Didn't really matter, did it? It didn't matter which way you went. Yanshan Gao. Thank you for the follow. And thank you for the sub. Even more importantly.
Ready.
Can't believe that I managed to weave that one up. Oh, wait. Knight c3 again today. Ulus was listening. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Grand Prix attack, by the way. Especially if the opponent plays d6. This is a little bit of a question mark move. The main problem with playing bishop c4 Grand Prix Sicilians is that black has e6 and d5. But I also like all of the f4 classical Sicilians as well. So let's just see here. Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's see here. Pinpointing the b7 square. Finishing my development as rapidly as possible. My opponent may not castle on the king side so easily. There are a lot of threats. Well. I think I have to go for it. The opponent offers a weakness. I think about taking the weakness. Can I capture it twice? I'm only mildly worried about bishop g4, but I have knight takes f6 check at the end. The queen is on the other side of the rook as well, so this is not boding too well for the opponent. Interesting. Knight takes, bishop takes e5. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Or should I just play e5? I got nothing out of this, right? Is e5 a threat? Just in case e5 is a threat. We'll start weakening other squares. As much as I really wanted to just take on e6, there's too many threats, both to my queen and to my king. Queen h3 was probably more apropos. We'll keep attention. We have more knights coming, where that came from. Okay. Am I going to be missing my C2 square? Let's defend on the king side as well as to try to keep attacking. Defending a pawn with a queen is usually never a good idea. Is our opponent uncoordinated enough yet? Yanshan Gao. I can't get over the subscription from Yanshan Gao out of nowhere. Right? Literally out of nowhere. Like, what does it all mean? E5 was also an option. All right, now the moment of truth. Is E5 still an option? Bishop E7, any E7, Queen D6. E5, Knight D5. Bishop D5. Then I have a passed pawn. That was weird. There was a pre-move in there. That was very weird. Did not expect the pre-move. I have a problem on this square, taking on that square. Queen's covering. Where does the rook go? Good question. Where does the rook go? The answers to these questions and more. What? You are correct. Wow. Two pieces for a rook. Is this worthwhile? I've been in these positions before. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to play that move. All right, now the moment of truth. Mate and 2 if I do that. Knight to b4. Interesting. I do know what you're up to. I just don't know how much it's worth. In the heartbeat. Do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Probably rook d2 was the safest move. Yes. Egats. Does not look good.
Check.
I see. Very annoying. Just when I thought I was getting somewhere. Just when I thought I was getting somewhere. You lose. All right.
Time is running out.
Wow. Do I not have anything here?
Check.
That's a bummer.
Check.
Be the one that marches up into oblivion for no cause. Wow.
Check. Check.
That's a bummer. From such an enjoyable game to that. Sicilians are so double-edged. Nice work, Ulus. You got me back. All right, fair enough. Oh, that's it. Only 8 rounds. 7 rounds. Namaste, everyone. That is craziness. So I guess I'm wrong. We do have time for a simul or something. As it turns out. We do have time for a simul or something. I did check out Chess AI. I wasn't entirely sure how to use it though, Ron, but I am planning on experimenting with it. I have installed it. We will get there though. Whose birthday is it? Let's bring up the calendar. Botez? Oh no, not a Botez Gambit. The Queen Not Taken. Wasn't that one? Against me?
Check.
No, our queens are off. So it was in the first game with Arakito? My last game? Please tell me that's not true. Or did I lose anyway, so it didn't really matter? Let's just see here. Now everything, I thought everything was going well right up until this moment, right? Hold on. So F5 was the crucial decision. But somehow the advantage is slipping away from me with knight on d to b5. That was a really silly move. Loss of time. G4? Yeah, I can see that being the best. Taking on D4 avoids the bishop takes G4 stuff, right? Fine. So needless to say, I weathered it all along. I battled back a bit. I didn't play queen to h3. It didn't really matter. Fine. Bishop f4, I was very proud of bishop f4, but you're right. King to b1 needs to be played. Bishop f1 if necessary. Sorry, bishop c1 if necessary. Fine. And then my opponent blundered in return. Bishop takes. Rook to a7. e5 looks good. Now we're back in the driver's seat all the way until b3. And I should just play e3 straight away. Of course. I thought I had time to take it later, but I didn't realize that he could just attack my knight. Always play king to b1. Let's take a look. Botez Gambit declined. You know, I was actually thinking about that earlier, Erikito, in the first game, that I was not handling my queen very well. Wow. Queen d4 is definitely a blunder. And I had plenty of time on my clock to decide on the best way. My original intention was to play rook to d2 in any case on the back rank mate. Wow. So after his move, queen g2, it's +10 for me. If only I could see it. Such a weird way to not capture the queen, too, moving along the same diagonal away from it. It sort of reminds me of... The rook on d to f2 was actually a miracle blow. And what do I need to do here? I need to just stop his queen from invading and keep the pressure on. Got it. And he's the one who has to force perpetual. That is a very cool maneuver that definitely is deserving of more attention. Absolutely deserving of more attention. Isn't that crazy? A very weird way indeed to blunder the queen. Wow. Who would have known? All right. Moment of truth. I do have Windows. If you upgraded to Windows 11 and you are, let me just take a quick peek. I don't necessarily use the database icons with the details view. Hold on one second if I can find I use ChessBase 16. I'm actually deciding on whether or not I want to show my database folder window. Hold the phone while I bring it up. Yeah, unfortunately, I have some student names and other things in there. But yeah, the database icons are very small in the details view. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely. But I actually don't use the database icons that much, except for sorting. So let's just say if I'm working on a tactics and I use the tactics database icon, then I will sort by database type or icon type for the most part. There's a way to do that somehow. The small icons are fine. Oh, you only see the file's name? That's interesting. You might need a Windows 16 update, or, God forbid, you may need to reinstall Windows 16 after the update. Yeah, you might need to reinstall it after the update. Let's see here. Where's my screen one? I actually took away my screen one because I did so much work. So yeah, in general, unlock the screen one. Lock the window, lock the lead chest capture. He's looking to see if there's anything here that I don't necessarily want to be seen. All right, I sorted a different way so that I could probably do it that way. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to the lead chest capture window. Go back to the screen one window. We'll unlock that one and we'll drag it open so people can actually see it. Yeah, so this is the Windows 16 for the most part. And you can go between details view and tile view. I guess there are folder names that I don't necessarily want to show in the details view, now that I think about it. Which is unfortunately. And then of course you've got your tile view, your small icons, medium icons, big icons. And I actually don't use a lot of the icons unless it's really necessary. So I might do a file type to a certain extent. So this is actually a person database, Kalanchenko, Zovanchik, 100 selected games or something along those lines. But aside from that, and then I can sort by giant icons, EGATs. So on the whole, right? I think that it might just be a database update, wherever it is. Help. Where's my update feature? File, install, database, options. Oops. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Good morning, Sri. Yeah, I think you have to install it again after the update, if that's the case. I believe that it's not finding the image files if you're not seeing the icons. for the most part, which is too bad. I am enjoying the Chessable course in both. Open up Chessable for a moment, make sure it's on the right setting. I've only watched the videos. I've been watching the videos for the most part on the oh, I didn't mean to enable that one. I was enabling Chessable. Very amusing courses, and of course I started on the Life at Games and the Kill Tall, which is not easy. Obviously, these tactics have already done, and then they have this really tough one, right, where we've got all these alternative moves. So it's very tricky when they ask you to solve an endgame and hold it. C'est la vie. The Life and Games and Mikhail Tal. I don't necessarily know if you already own the book, if it's worth it. The course, it is a good giveaway if you spend $100 or more, to be honest. It is a good idea if you spend $100 or more to receive, if you're going to spend $100 anyway. This way? Wait just a moment here. What's going on here? Oh, is this the Lewitsky trap? The reverse Lewitsky? That's crazy. The reversed Lewitsky. But better. The new and improved reverse Lewitsky. 1001 brilliant ways to checkmate. Definitely priceless. These were the fundamentals before there were fundamentals. So here we go. This is an all-time classic. Smothered bait that you don't always get. The original all-time classic smothered bait. Well, I have to admit that you will, I repeat, you will, Lauren, you will get tactics that are very similar. Yeah, for those of you who haven't followed me on my socials, I'm just finishing with a little bit of Chessable work here. It looks like it's made, right? I actually missed this one in a puzzle streak. Late last night, I missed this in a puzzle streak. Look, this is almost from a tall game. Many of these are very simple and straightforward because they're involving the Queen Sacrifice chapter. And it helps to have them in your arsenal. This one is tricky and tedious. That was really the chess.com madness of hold the phone here.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the
A nice side of the board, almost ladder mate, with the old finale of Discovery at the end. This is from the Steinitz game, a variation on Steinitz. Secrets of Modern Chess Strategy by John Watson. Yeah, this is a specific problem related to really. I have a problem upgrading my laptop to Windows 11, but there may be a reason for that. I believe that it is your video card. So if your son fixed the upgrade to Windows 11 by hacking around the fact that your video card was not correct for the Windows 11, this may be related to your icon problem. Or I don't know if it is, but it's definitely related to your icon problem at the outset. But if you reinstall ChessBase, you might be okay. Yeah, it is quite a good book, honestly. It is truly and honestly a great book. I have my own differences with John Watson, rather personal ones. But he is an overall he is a nice guy. I think I told everyone about my indifferences to him. So why can't I play queen to h8 checkmate? Oh, I thought I did play queen to h8. Never mind. I think somehow I discovered an alternative move. Setting up the double discovered Chekaruski. This one has a problem to it, though. Right? It's not what you think. Hold on here. I need to think about this one, everybody, before we go anywhere. What do we need to do here? I just need to work this out. Check. King to e7 is forced. Bishop g5 check. f6, knight to d8 mate. Is there any other answer to f6? No. Moment of truth. The old self-smothered mate. All right, a few alternatives here. Oh, I didn't have to do the alternatives. That's quite effective. Setting up the old double Chekaruski. A lot of extraneous pieces in that one. All right, moment of truth. Check. 97 is checkmate. I believe I can do this. Where do I play 97 check first? Let's just make sure you're... "97 check first. The queen must take." Doesn't seem right. Oh, yes. Then we have queen takes, king takes, rook check, and it's business as usual. A very boring and dry, dull mate on the 1001 brilliant checkmates. This one is very misleading, but it's very convincing at the same time because it's double check. This one I did get wrong with a mouse slip. Oh, and I did it again. Grr. Enough of that. I do have a lesson in a little bit. Thank you all for being here. Pegasus, I owe you Tigers Modern, but I did come up with a really cool way to go about doing it, and I can break it up into 6 sections. No, thank you. You are the best. We are going to head to, I believe, the last round of the British Chess Championships, as provided by... Please stay with us for the raid, because they have the commentary, very strong commentary, on the final round of the British Chess Championships. I think it's the final round, and it's a very heated contest between Arkell, Jones, and many others. There's one fellow who I do not recognize his name in the lead, and I'm anxious to find out what's happening. Cheers to everyone, and thank you. Let's just run the ending screen, and we can probably have an ending song. We should choose an ending song at some point, right? Thank you, Jake Ruby NYC, for the follow, and Yan Chun Gao for the sub. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody. Chows, cheer, sayonara. Ciao, cheers, sayonara. G'day.